happen in the NFL without that guy behind center. You can try you want to. You can go get J.J. Watt, and he'd be awesome. You can go get Jadeveon Clowney, and he can be awesome. It don't translate. The Texans have tried it before with Mario Williams. Like Mario Williams, now he's in Buffalo. He goes to the Pro Bowl every year. Where does Buffalo go? Where have they been? Nowhere. No freaking where. Now, I'm not saying Cam Newton is some sort of Hall of Famer, because he's not, especially at this point. But if you feel like he's the guy, he touches the ball every play of the game. Every play. J.J. Watt can be double teamed. He can be ran away from. He gets tired, gets taken out of the game. Quarterback don't come out unless he's hurt. That's the person you need if you want to get to that ultimate accomplishment, the championship. Yeah, it's quarterback. I don't even understand what the question is. So, getting Jameis Winston and getting Marcus Mariota 1 and 2, yeah, they both might be busts. And here's the beauty of it: just like with Robert Griffin III, this dude is gonna get $16 million this year, and I think he got like $23 million guaranteed throughout the first 4 years, and his fifth-year option is $16 million. Let me tell you something: he still hasn't got in 5 years, he still wouldn't made as much money as Matthew Stafford and Sam Bradford made from their bonuses. 2 number 1 picks at quarterback. That's the beauty with the current CBA. You don't like your quarterback? You don't like Geno Smith? Had 2 years? Yeah, crumple him up, throw him away. You don't like EJ Manuel? Guess what? Crumple him up, go back in the draft and get another one the next year. Look at what Cleveland, what people thought Cleveland was doing. They thought Cleveland was going to give up their first 2, which wasn't enough, to try to go up and get Marcus Mariota, even though they have Johnny Manziel, who they picked in the first round at pick 22. That I got into a huge argument. It was a stupid argument, and now it's even more stupid a year later. The dude whose show I used to produce, Mark Zeno, on 92.9 The Game here in Atlanta, was arguing me that because they traded back into the first round, they had to pick Johnny Manziel and start him. Here's the commissioner, everybody.
With the 5th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Brandon Scherff, tackle, Iowa.
Ooh, yeah. It ain't sexy. Understand? Yeah. Right. Chris Berman is right. He does. Just like one of them corn-fed Iowa boys. Good for them, you know. Safe pick. You pick a tackle out of Iowa. They're known for good offensive linemen. And here's the beauty about picking tackles. If they don't work out, you know what you do? You kick them inside the guard. They don't have the athletic ability that you need. You kick them inside the guard and just say maul people. It happened with Leonard Davis, Robert Gallery. Remember him from the Raiders? They picked Robert Gallery, ended up going to Pro Bowl. So did Leonard Davis. Leonard Davis started out with the Cardinals, ended up with the Cowboys. They put him at guard. He's just a big body, started mauling people, just like Robert Gallery. Ended up going to Pro Bowls at guard. Yeah, it's a cool investment, especially now at that spot where you're not giving up a whole lot of money. And with the current CBA I was just talking about, by all means, man, Brandon Scherff. Yeah, that's a solid pick. And now we're coming down to the point where the Atlanta Falcons are going to pick here in a second, and they're looking for pass rushers. And the only pass rusher that's gone now is Dante Fowler Jr. So Bud Dupree's still there. The guy who a lot of people feel like they were coveting anyway, in Vic Beasley, he's still there. The other 2 guys I talked about earlier, Randy Gregory and Shane Ray. You know, the weed situation, whether I agree with it or not, it's hanging over their heads. You know, I think in 20 years, everybody's going to look at the this weed situation and be like, okay, that was stupid when that happened. But we'll move on. I think in this country as a whole, that'll happen. You know, they're talking about this kid can play both tackles, man. That he's a versatile dude. That no one's talking about him being bumped inside the guard. Not yet. Anyway, not yet. He's in the NFC East, so he'll have to see guys like the Cowboys don't really have. They got the kid from Boise last year. Was injured a bunch. Who do the Redskins? I mean, who do the Eagles have? Nobody, because Trent Cole is now he's a Baltimore or Indianapolis Colt, and Jason Pierre-Paul is probably the premier pass rusher in the NFC East, the guy who he had to face for the next, because Pierre-Paul's still pretty young, 25, the next 4 or 5 years, at a high level at least. So yeah, he'll be all right. I mean, he got 6 games against those guys, and we'll see what those 3 teams do in the playoffs to address their pass rush needs, because obviously, as I just stated, they all 3 have them. This is the Sports Kings podcast. It just happens to be a draft show that I'm doing here while my guy Rob Calloway is out in Vegas getting it up, getting ready to view the Floyd Money Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight this weekend, this Saturday night. Make sure you guys hit us up, follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Sports Kings Live, and send us your emails at sportskingslive@gmail.com. Before we went to break, I was talking about these arguments I was having with Mark Zeno about Johnny Manziel, how he was telling me that they have to start Johnny. They drafted him in the first round, and I was like, no, they don't. This kid, Brian Hoyer, he's at the end of the day, he's still a hometown kid, and people will start, people who put wins on quarterbacks, they did it with him. Like, yeah, he won games. He didn't play exceptionally well, but, whatever. The games got won some kind of way. And what you do, I was trying to explain to him what you do if you just tell a dude he's going to start before he proves it to the rest of his team. You could use it. You could lose that locker room, especially as a first-year head coach. There's no way in hell that he's supposed to start. Now, maybe he would. I told him maybe he would, but he'd have to outplay this dude. Like Russell Wilson, where there was no question that Matt Flynn was not the dude. Everyone on the team recognized that it was Russell Wilson. Period, point blank. End of story, put a period on it. Let's ride out. Let's go with this young kid, this 3rd-round pick. Let's go with him. And they did. It was the smartest move ever because he proved it not only to the coaching staff, but he allowed the coaches to understand that we can't start Matt Flynn. There's guys in here that depend on feeding their family based on the way this quarterback plays. And, yeah, I hear booing. So the commissioner must be coming to the podium with the Jets pick at, where we're at 5 now, right? We're at 5 now. Going by pretty slowly. They changed the rules a little bit for the next couple rounds, or for the supplemental picks. The picks are only going to have 4 minutes in between them, and for the 3rd day, I believe it was the 3rd day, that the picks are also going to have 4 picks in between them. Sorry, I'm listening to Mel Kiper talk about these picks. He's talking about them picking, Kevin White to go with Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Curley, and then we have the rookie Kevin White. Now, I heard somebody mention this the other day, as a matter of fact, the fact that you don't really owe – you can get out of both of those contracts. I think the Decker contract and the Brandon Marshall contract next year. Or 2 out of the 3. It may be Curley because they just signed Decker like last year. But you can get out of those contracts and not have all that money that you like. If you're like me, you're thinking about how much money you're going to dedicate to one position when you're not even sure about your quarterback. When Gino is what I call him, he's still out there, he's still out there doing his thing. So that's going to be weird. Kind of waiting to see what this pick is going to be. I'm sorry, I'm kind of filibustering right now because I'm interested in seeing. Now that I've heard that name, I'm interested in hearing who it is. Now the pick is in. I should have it already on my old Twitter thing here, my Twitter information. But for whatever reason, no one has leaked the dang on the tweet. Why is no one doing their job? Why is no one doing their job in leaking these picks? They're going to wait. These people are actually waiting on the commissioner. They're following instructions. They got Muhammad Wilkerson, so I don't think Leonard Williams is the pick here. He's not going to fall. He's in a little bit of a fall because I thought that he was going to go second to the Tennessee Titans, but obviously that didn't happen. They took Marcus Mariota, and here's a funny thing. They're going to play each other first game of the season. If both of these guys end up starting, they'll both play. I think it'll be the first time that 2 rookie quarterbacks would face off. Their teams would face off against each other while starting after being picked 1-2 in the in that year's or the previous years or for that season's, let's say it that way, NFL draft. Yeah, that's gonna be wild. I'm kind of rooting for that as well. Like, I know there is this affinity for Zach Mittenberg, and people were talking about all week long how, you know, if the Titans do pick Marcus Mariota, that they're going to need to sit him down. I heard Trent Dilfer talking about it today, a guy who I respect his opinion when it comes to quarterbacks, except for the thing he did on Tim Tebow that time. I think he was kind of, he just pulled the short straw on that one, and they made him big up Tim Tebow, his label mate over there at ESPN. Here's the commissioner.
With the 6th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Leonard Williams. Defensive end, USC.
What? Yeah, they're going to try to trade this Wilkerson dude. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. It's cool to keep him. It's cool, you know, to keep both of them, because it's almost like having Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley. He's on a rookie deal. His deal is already slotted. Muhammad Wilkerson's going to want some of that J.J. Watt money. You know, he's been their version of J.J. Watt, but not as, you know, as he doesn't get profiled as much. He doesn't move up and down the line. He doesn't catch touchdown passes at tight end and all that kind of stuff and run, you know, fumbles back and pick sixes. But this kid Leonard Williams, yeah, he's the guy who in the draft has been compared to J.J. Watt, because this kid is like 313 pounds and lean, just like J.J. Watt, 300-pounder with no gut. Where they do that at? That's, well, I'm not gonna get into my HGH thing here on this particular show. That's another day and another time for all that kind of stuff. But yeah, a kid that was virtually unblockable, even at one point when he had one leg at USC, University of Southern California, was virtually unblockable, even by two people at times. What Jadeveon Clowney said he was going to be. Yeah, they're not going to be able to touch me with two or three people. Well, this kid, legitimately, that was his deal. Yeah, the Muhammad Wilkerson thing is like, this is leverage. This is a good little bit of leverage. I know a lot of people thought that they may go not pass rusher, but running back here. Like, a lot of people had Todd Gurley going here, and the first round running back, I'm a big, like, I think that's such a no. No, and I even heard, like, I love when people who, like, get paid a whole lot of money to do this gig say the stuff I say after I said it. And I think it was Mike Florio. I want to give him credit for it. So I think it was him who was talking about, if you draft a dude in the first round, that's it. If you draft a running back, in the first round, there is no running back by committee. There is no 2-3 dudes to do one dude's job. Forget that foolishness. New Orleans did that with Mark Ingram. Drafted them and had like Pierre Thomas and Darren Sproles and whoever this other guy, like 4 dudes. Nah, and then you saw when this dude got the bulk of the carries last year, 1,000-yard season damn near, a couple 100-yard games. You know, that's what you do. I call it the Eddie Lacy. You Eddie Lacy the hell, and Eddie Lacy wasn't even no first round pick. Yeah, that kid up there, Grant. Yeah, that's all he is. He's like Eddie. When Eddie's fat butt gets tired, he gets to come out of the game real quick and back in. He gonna catch every ball. He gonna take every carry he could possibly handle. And then when it's done, you DeMarco Murray him. You get as many carries out of that dude as possible. And then he becomes someone else's problem. Watch what happens with DeMarco Murray in Chip Kelly's system. And we're not going to even blame it on the system. He plays running back in the NFL. If Rob was here, I'd ask him, Rob, what position does he play? Running back. In what league? The NFL. Yeah, it's as simple as that. They don't last. Yeah, you just got to do your business with them. You know, put the money on the counter and everybody go their separate ways. And then next day maybe somebody else paying more money. I hate the kind of I hate